Hey everybody, it's Max here. I got an acoustic guitar at the Academy here today, and I thought I would take this moment to teach you how to do a restring. It's actually a pretty simple process, but there are a little bit of tricks, especially if you're doing it for the first time. So in this tutorial, I will show you how to do it and also some of the tools that I use to accomplish the job. So let's get right into it. Alright, so some of the tools that you need for this job. You will need to have a wire cutter to cut the strings. You might also want to get one of these. This is called a string winder. And usually you can get them at any music store for not a lot of money. This is a great thing to have. If you don't have that, then you'll need to use the good old elbow grease to turn the knobs. Now, one of the tools that I like to use is also this drill, which has a drill bit for making your life a little bit easier when you're winding the strings. I'll also be using a brush just to clean up the guitar. So this one actually here is pretty cool. This is called, it's by Music Nomad. And yeah, it's kind of neat. You obviously need the strings. And I will be upgrading the plastic bridge pins to these ebony ones that I got at the music store. So let's check it out. Alright, so I'll try to be, I guess, as thorough as possible. So the first thing that you'd want to do is to maybe actually loosen up the strings a little bit. Just so that when you cut them, they don't snap, you know what I mean? And you can do this many ways. You can also use a sidewinder or whatever. Do something like that. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the strings. Usually I like to actually to hold them. And say give it a little cut like that. Still snapping off. You know what? I'm going to loosen it up a little more. So once you get the strings off, or once you cut them, take them off like this. One string at a time. There we go. All right, simple. So now, actually here, let's get to this first. Couple of ways to do it. Most of these sidewinders, they will have a little notch here, and that is to get the bridge pins out of the bridge. Sometimes that works, like this time, so that was nice. There we go. Sometimes if they're too deep in there, I actually like to use the wire cutters and lightly press, not to scratch the plastic, and then just get them out like that. Just kind of fish them out of there. Boom. This one, I think I can just do it with my fingers. Yeah, some of the ones, if they're not too deep in there, you can just get out. This one I can't, so I'll use the wire cutter. There you go. There we go. All right. I will use this brush now to clean up some of the dirt, some of the dust that has built up underneath the strings, and especially here on the headstock you can see. There you go. Looks much better. Now I've noticed that these are actually kind of loose here, so I will bring a tool to tighten them up because you don't want that to be that loose. I'll be right back. Alright, so I brought a set of these pliers. I don't have like a socket wrench right now that will go on top of these. But if you go lightly and carefully, you can just get up on top and tighten them up so that they're not loose. Doesn't need to be extremely tight, but definitely shouldn't be loose. The problem that we may run into is that if If you're getting some sort of resonance, they could vibrate. That's unnecessary sound we don't want to be dealing with. All right, there we go. Just clean it up one more time. Clean the fretboard. All right, let's get into it. So, I'm gonna open up these new bridge pins. These are ebony, and they're gonna be better than those old plastic ones. So let me just see how it fits. Yeah, it should be all right. Yeah, this should be fine. So the gauge of strings probably will be more of a personal taste type of thing. The ones that I have here are 11 to 52. They're a little bit lighter, and that's fine. Some people like to use 12s, some people like to use 13s. It all depends on what you like. So I will start with the low E string, so the 52 gauge. Open it up. Go. Get one of the bridge pins, and you can see that there's a little bit of a notch here, and that's the notch that you want to face the fretboard. Okay, here I generally just bend the string a little bit like this, okay, to create an angle. I insert it into the hole, very simple, and then place the bridge pin in there. There you go. Maybe pull on it a little bit just to make sure it's good to go. Now the trickiest part for most people is this section over here. Okay. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to get the camera angle a little bit closer so you guys can really see what I'm doing over here. All right. Well, with a closer camera angle, I hope this will make a little bit of sense. So one of the things I like to do first is actually to face all the posts so that the hole is facing the fretboard. To be honest, probably doesn't really matter, but I just kind of like the uniformity of it all. There we go. So now they're all facing. Sometimes people will ask, how much slack should I leave? And that means how much of the string should I leave afterwards? And that all, from my experience, that all sort of depends. The bigger string will need to have less slack left because, well, it's bigger. It's a bigger string. With the smaller ones, you can leave more so that you have more winding. Okay? So again, it comes with a little bit, of experience. I would say with this one, I'll probably leave something like this, which is probably 2.5 inches, let's say, but let me just get it in there first and then we'll figure it out. Now, so you put the string in the hole like this. First, get it all the way inside, all the way until it's kind of tight. Now, this is what I like to do. You go back a little bit, something like that, maybe 1.5 inches, okay, so that you have maybe this much slack on the guitar. I will wind it this way so that the string is going to be facing the downside of the guitar. Over the string, now this string, what's left over is sticking up, and I will put it and hold it under. Boom, like this. This is what you want to be ending up with at first. Some guys will do a whole loop over. I don't really do that. This is how I go about it. So now, the thing that's going to be really important is that you start winding the string underneath itself. It needs to go under the hole. So I'll be using the string winder. And there you go. There you go. So now I pull it up a little bit. This hand position is very important. With my first finger, I'm pressing down, and with these fingers, I'm pressing up. That way the string doesn't get lost. There we go. Now here, usually I will actually hold the bridge pin. And it could make those kind of sounds. It's just kind of adjusting. Yeah, I'm not gonna leave it in any particular pitch just yet. Just leave it like that. You may need to press a few times so the bridge pin doesn't come out. So that's string number 6, the low E string. Generally, I just go in order. So, the next string I'm going to have is the A string. And for this one, I will use the drill, and you will see how much faster that process is with the drill. So again, there's my bridge pin. I make a little bit of an angle, maybe actually a little bit more on this one. Like that. Put it inside. Put the bridge pin. Boom. Okay, let's go in here again. So, the post is already facing the fretboard. I put the string through. Easy peasy, right? Leave some slack, maybe a little bit more with this one. Okay. I put it around the top. There it is. The bottom up. There we go. Now I'm holding the string this way. And again, that bridge pin is coming out. Maybe those holes are a little too big, but it'll be fine. Okay, so now I grab the drill. One thing I gotta make sure is that the string goes under. There it is. It's under itself. Let's go. Okay, so the bridge pin's coming out. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll wait until there's some sort of a tension. I'll press this right back in. There it is. Now you can hear that they're obviously out of tune. That's not a big deal because later on I'll tune the guitar, it'll be just fine. Okay. So, string number 5, done. Let's keep moving. D string, same kind of process. I mean, it's going to be a little bit different here because this is 3 aside for these machine heads. So these strings will have to be done the other way because they'll be facing inside. Okay, so that same thing. I make a bit of an angle. There we go. The post is already facing the fretboard, so I put it through. Okay. The problem is if let's say you do it here, you won't have enough you won't have enough space on the post. So that's why you actually you go all the way in and then go back a little bit. That way all of the string will be placed on the post. So here, okay, I'm churning towards that side. Again, this is how I grab it. With the first finger, I'm pushing down. With these fingers, I'm pulling up. And again, I'm feeling like on that side, those new bridge pins are not used to the wood just yet. So again, I'll be using the drill for this. Okay, so here you can see that the string wants to go over top. What I'll do is push it, go to the bottom, and now we're fine. There you go. Okay, so that's 3 strings, pretty much done. Okay, let's now move on to the treble strings. The treble strings. All right. Now here, I guess the important thing is, don't mess it up and put the G string in here and stuff like that. The G string goes in there. So we kind of go this way. All right, now this one is going to be the exact same thing except in reverse. So I'll put the string through. Okay, pull it back a little bit. Like, it's hard to say, like this much, I guess. Yeah, like 2.5 inches, something like that. You can even leave a little bit more for this one. Okay, so let's do 3. So now instead of going this way with the string, I will hoop it the other way. How I know? Well, I can see that my string is now facing the bass strings. So simple. Now I take my drill and I'll do everything in reverse now. There you go. So let's see that first string. Boom. Underneath. There we go. So as you can see, this one has some more winding on it. And that's the way you want to do it. Okay, next. The B string. Now with these, because they're so much thinner, you can definitely wind them, and you should wind them a lot more. From what I heard, they stay in tune better. That way. Okay, so here we go. B string. Let's throw it on. There we go. Okay, so again, put it through the hole all the way to the end, and then we see how much. Here I'll probably leave only this much slack. So out of this entire string, boom, I'll bring back this far in. And again, let's go in like that. Put up the string. Sometimes I'll even hold it this way at first. See, I'm kind of coming over. Just to get the string sort of underneath itself. There it goes. Good for now. And last but not least, the high E string. Here we go. Same kind of thing. With this one, you probably also want to get a lot of winds. Put it in. Make that much. Put it around. Pull it up. I like using the drill. Just makes things faster. There we go. So we got all the strings on the guitar now. The final step is to cut the ends off, and that's it. You're good to go. So let's do that. Now this is actually important. Don't just cut it here, for example. You want to cut all the way at the end. You don't want anything sticking out, because if you have a gig bag and you have sharp strings sticking out, well, that gig bag is going to get a hole. There you go. Especially if you got a nice gig bag, you don't want that. Boom. Take that off. There we go. There we go. That's it. So now you have the strings on the guitar. All you got to do is tune it up, and you're good to go. All right, the guitar is restrung, ready to go. The strings are fresh. It sounds good. It feels good. Hope this tutorial was helpful to you.